Okay, we'll be starting our topic letter writing. So we are doing letter writing. So letter writing. First we'll be talking about what is a letter and what is letter writing and types of letters. This way we'll go. So here kinds of letters: personal or private letters, business and formal letters, and some social letters and notes of invitations also we include in letters. So what is a letter? A piece of written document about all that you want to say to a person away from you. If any person is away from you, it's called a letter. A letter carries one's message for another person. One's message is carried to another person, so it plays the role of communication. So in the past it was one of the major way of communication. So before the advent of modern technology made communication so easy. So now because of the modern technology, communication has been so easy. Before this, the art of writing letter was considered an important requirement. Art of writing letter was one of the very important requirement for the communication. So even today, a letter is an important means of communication in both the workplace as well as our personal lives. So even today also the letters play a role. So let us educate ourselves with the nouns of letter writing, different kinds of letter writing. Okay, nouns of letter writing we will see. So what is a letter writing? This also let us talk about this. So letter writing is an essential skill. Letter writing is a skill, an essential skill. So despite the prevalence of emails and text messages, everyone has to write letters at some point. So we just before also talked, nowadays there are several means of communication, and mostly the world is dominated by this electronic medias, and now everything is being digitalized. Okay, so in this context, emails, text messages, okay, and various platforms which can be uh, share the audio visual, several ways are there for communication. However, at one point, so letter also have some value, still they have some value. So letters of complaint, job applications, thank you letters, okay, letters requesting changes or making suggestions. So it's different purposes that we write letter. The list goes on and on. If this like if you make the list long list also we can make. Okay. So there are means of communication, very easy, fast, reliable means of communication. However, sometimes we need to write a letter, so we should learn to write a letter. So encouraging children to write letters from an early age will improve their communication, social and handwriting skills and teach them what they need to know about writing and structuring letters. So when letter writing is taught from the beginning, so writing skill will be developed, communication skill can be developed. It will make help them to make social and even writing and writing etc. also will be developed. So that's why letter writing is important that we say. And in our curriculum, in our course, we are even asked the questions just like to write a letter to prepare a letter or to draft a letter. In other words, let's say it's called drafting. To draft a letter. It is even asked in exam. In your exercises also there is. So we have to learn something about letter writing. Okay, student, are you getting the things?
Yes, sir, we are.
Very good. Okay, this bit difficult. Okay, student, is next page displayed to you?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So I'm doing from two devices, so I'm facing some problem. Even if you are doing, and those who come late will make me some trouble today. Okay. Yes. So personal letters. So there are some qualities. The letter must contain some qualities. Okay. So qualities of a good letter. There are some are listed, like clearness of expression. What one wants to express, there must be clear. So clearness of expression. Correct punctuation. Punctuation is also as for language. Punctuation, correct punctuation is to be used there. And accuracy. It demands the accuracy of your writing. And as well as if since it is a handwritten, so neatness of execution it requires. So these are some of the qualities of good letter. So you can add them, and there can be more than this. It's not that only this many. Only some are listed there. So look at number one, personal or private letters. Different kind of letters that we just in previous page we saw. So personal or private letters. So personal or private letters are informal letters. Personal letters, private letters, these are informal letters. Okay. To write friends, relatives, and any other acquaintances whom you know. Acquaintance means those whom you know. So any friends, relatives, or any person whom you know, you can write letter personally in a private letter. This is informal. The language informal and the format also sometimes varied from person to person. However, a certain format is followed, and the subject matter and the language can be informal also. So likely another type, formal and business letters. Formal letters and some business letters. Business letters also come on formal letter. Okay, letters written to newspaper, head of school, colleges, business firms, officials, and to people not personally known are formal letters. So whom you personally know and close informal letter can be there. If you are writing something, if you need to convey some message to the person whom you don't know, they are also formal. And to these institutions or organizations, their formal letters are to be written to the newspaper, School, colleges, business firms, officials, other offices, government offices, their formal letters are written. So as these letters are impersonal, the language used is courteous, simple and clear. This should be short and to point. Okay, to the point it is means. So informal letters there is personal, but formal letters are impersonal. These are impersonal, not personal, impersonal. Even if the language must be very much courteous one, polite, formal language, and what one wants to convey, it must be clear. Okay? Informal and business letter type. Okay, we'll be going to the next one. And number three, social letters and notes of invitation. Social letters and some invitation notes also are taken as letters. So these letters can be personal or official depending on the person to whom they are addressed to. So social letters are invitations. Sometimes they can be personal, okay, or sometimes official. So to whom it is to addressed, to whom it is to deliver, it depends on that whether it is personal or official. Okay, this happens. So these letters include invitations, letters of thanks, condolences, congratulations, etc. This like for these like purposes, if the letters are written, if to particular person written, these are personal. If to any offices or organizations written, so official, formal there must be. Okay, these are the different kinds of letters that we just talked. So now we'll be talking about the parts of letters. This is important. Parts of letters, especially we have to focus on it. Every letter consists of the following seven parts. So these seven parts you have to consider and you have to follow while drafting a letter. Sorry, time 11, 12 minutes is difficult for me. Anyway, so this address, date, salutation, body, subscription or the ending, the writer's name, and superscription. So these are the seven different parts of the letter. Okay. So in short, we'll be talking about the different parts of the letters. First one is the address. Okay. So the address should be full and clearly written. The address. While drafting a letter, the very first thing is writing the writer's address. Okay, and this address must be very much clearly written. Still, many of you have a habit to start with the date. So never start with the date. Start with address. Okay, so address should be clear because it is the address to which the answer is to be sent. If answer is to be replied to that address, it is to be replied. So especially in the formal letters, it is very important. In informal also, from where it is written for that at least. In informal, the known persons only from where it is written for that it is important. For formal, it is very important. If a reply is to be sent to that same address to be replied. So it can be placed either at the top right or left hand corner of the page. So there are different format, right hand side or left hand. But nowadays left hand side and all left alignment letters are in use. So we also follow this. Okay, student, did you take this?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now number two, and the second step is date. First address and second step date. So date should be written in full exactly below the address. Exactly below the address, it must be full. The date, full date must be written. The day, month, and year must be clear. So here are some format, four different format. If you write today's date, okay, in this any one format you can write. It is not a hard and fast rule that any format you should write. Anyone you can write, okay, but it must be full. Like August 31st, 2020. If you write this like August and 31 only, then comma 2020. Or if 31 you write in the beginning, 31 August 2020. This way also, okay. Or August 31st, then comma and 2020. Look, August 31, comma 2020 or August 31st, 2020. Anyone can be followed. Okay, and uh, the 21 is typed. Sorry, it's 30 with 31st for 2 days, but it is format, so it does not matter. Okay, uh, so 21st August 2020. If it is written in the beginning, the number written in the beginning, or this cardinal number or the number only is written in the beginning, no comma. You have to understand this thing. If month name is written and then only number is there, then comma. Okay, this is the system. So anyone can be followed. Okay, any one format of the date it should be followed, and that should be just below address. First address, and just below address there should be date. So in number three, third one will be the salutation. When we write to somebody, we address, we salute. So salutation. So salutation differs from person to person, okay, depending on the degree of intimacy between the writer and the person written to. So it depends on the degree of intimacy, how intimate the person is whom the writer is going to write. It depends on the salutation. So here are some examples for you. To family members. So one example is there like my dear father or only dear father. So this like several can be there, only few are given there. And if to friends, if you are writing to friends, dear Ravi or my dear Shetal, okay, this like only dear and first name or my dear Shetal, this like any format can be followed there. And to the businessmen, if you write dear sir, dear sirs, okay, dear sir, madam, this like will be there. Okay, to the business person, it's a formal. So, and to officials, sir, madam. Officials, there is no dear also. Sir or madam, sir, madam, this way. Sometimes sir slash madam also will be if the person is not known. So these are some of the uh, ways how to salute. So the different kinds of letter, different way you can write the salutation. Okay, while writing address first and date and then gap, at least 2 lines gap and then addressing. This is salutation. Okay, so did you take this, students?
Yes, sir.
Good. And now fourth is now the body. Okay, the body of the letter starts So the body is the main part of the letter. Main part of the letter is body. Like in while essay writing also we talked about body. So it should be divided into paragraphs according to the subject matter and should be written in clear and simple language. Various paragraphs, it should be divided into paragraphs. How to develop paragraphs while writing essay also there we talked. Here also same thing. So one subject matter are the main thing in one paragraph, and if subject matter changes another paragraph this way, paragraphs change. Okay. There even there is no any hard and fast rule how many paragraphs are to be developed, but you can follow that in a exam etc. If it is asked, then at least three body paragraphs you can make. But sometimes uh, the subject matter may differ. Okay. So paragraphs should be clearly written and in language must be simple. It includes an introduction, the main information and conclusion. So three at least: introduction, if subject matter, if in exam is especially we are talking about how you attempt. So some certain topic will be given, that topic should be introduced. Okay, some title is given on any, and about that the main information another paragraph, and its conclusion another paragraph. There also, if this way you arrange, introductory paragraph can be shorter one and the main paragraph will be longer one, and concluding paragraph also can be shorter one. This way three paragraphs at least you can. And if subject matter is a bit longer one, you are not restricted there, no restriction, you can have 4 5 paragraphs also. So paragraphs means, don't think that long one, many lines you are one page, one paragraph, not that. Short few sentences also can be in one paragraph. So paragraph can be changed. Okay, this way you can draft the body of the letter. Okay, likely next one, uh, subscription. When the body part finishes, then subscription is to be there. So it's a courteous leave taking. Subscription is a leave taking. Okay, when you finish writing a letter and at last you take leave, so leave taking, but courteously. Courteously means politely, in a polite manner. So it can be written to the left or right below the body of the letter. So when you have written your address and date, the same alignment. If you have written in right hand corner, this subscription also in right hand bottom corner. Right hand top corner if written, right hand bottom corner. But I suggest you everything in the left hand. This date address also left hand top corner, and this subscription also left hand bottom corner. Okay. So there are some example for you. To the relatives like yours affectionately, why people are living and joining time and again. It is anyway. So the two relatives, yours affectionately or your affectionate son, brother, sister, like this you can write. Okay. And to friends, your sincerely or your sincere friend, this like can be written. And to strangers or businessmen or officials, yours faithfully. To whom you don't know, yours faithfully. And to newspaper, yours truly. Okay. It's like some of the examples for you. The leave taking, subscription, courteous leave taking, in different kinds of letter in different way. Okay, so this is the fifth one. And then after six, the name is written just below the subscription and just below the subscription name. In the top, address, and just below address, date, like that. Subscription, just below this, and name, who wrote, should be there. So simply name writing, you can write that. And superscription is also required as the part of letter, is the address on the envelope. After writing a letter, you need to design envelope, and for the envelope, envelope design, envelope, if the letter is written and it is put inside envelope and is posted to envelope to whom it is to deliver, the address must be written clearly there. So address in the envelope of the person to whom the letter is written, and this address should be clear and complete. Clear and complete letter. Otherwise, the letter cannot be delivered to the person whom you want it to be delivered. So this like these are the seven parts of the letters. So all these seven parts, if you write accurately, and the format of your letter will be appropriate one, and always you follow. Once again, in the beginning you'll write address, then you'll write date. Later I'll show you some formats also, how these are in the, and then salutation, body, body paragraphs, various paragraphs, and then subscription and their name, and then superscription in another page it can be. If second page you are finished, that's the space there. There will also it can be design. When you design this envelope, you can have some artistic way also you can design. So these are the parts of the letters. So once you again see the format, the personal letters format we are talking here, this like Bharatpur 9, Chitwan. So from here, while writing our address, simply Bharatpur 9 and Chitwan. Those who are in Ward 9 and those who are in 8, Bharatpur 8, Chitwan, or like this is a format. So your address in short can be written. Okay. So this is the heading. This is called heading, the beginning one. Okay. And just below this there is date, like today's date, 31st August 2020 is written there, and there's some gap. The gap between these two and this gap is different here. So it means uh, address you write in one line, and just below that another line you write date, and after that you can leave in your copy, rolling paper. There are two lines you leave, and then only salutation, dear father, dear brother, dear sister, dear mother, like this salutation. Okay, you will, and then after the body paragraph starts. The body. Okay, so different various paragraphs. Here it is only design there. Nothing is written. I'm glad to receive your letter like this. Beginning can be like this. So at least I suggest my students don't start that I am fine here. I hope you are also fine there. Don't start this way. This way starting is quite informal. So informal letters, however, this is not much approved one in English letters. So start. What subject matter is given, you can directly state that, or you can have some this like courtesy. I'm glad to receive your letter, or just like this, like something you can write. So other jargons are not to be added there. Okay, like somebody they write in by the grace of God, this, that, etc. Other too much things are not necessary. In English, what we do in Nepali like this. So in English, most of the things should be the clear and straight and straightforward. It is demanded like this, and that's why you also start this way. And then first paragraph very short. There, what you are going to write in this letter. So especially when you are asked question and on that you have to draft. So what question is there? Accordingly, you will introduce in the first paragraph the subject matter, and second paragraph all the details of that subject matter, and the last paragraph concluding paragraph. When this finishes, then subscription, yours affectionately, and your name. Okay, writer's name. So this way, all in this format, the letter must be. Okay, student, are you getting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good, good. Mm. Okay. The next page displayed there. So I have taken one format from somewhere else. This is formal letters. Some format is there. So a bit in format, a bit different in the personal letter and formal letters. Okay. So here I have taken the exact somewhere from somewhere. That's why the word maybe just before we discuss and here may be different. But however, the format is only for the format. This is. So in the beginning, what is there? Your contact information. Contact information, full contact information in the beginning. There is. So in formal letter, after contact information and date also, there is also gap. In informal letter, what we talked there, address, your address, and just below there in the second line, date. But in formal letters, address, and after address also there is a gap. Okay, you can leave gap at least 2 lines there, and then only date. Date, and again there it is contact information of the person of or company you are writing to. It is like a salutation there is, but it is something more that contact information also is added there. There below only greeting or salutation there below. So here in formal letters, your address and to whom you are writing, that address also should be there written. First your address, date, and then the address whom you are writing that. And if any post etc. is there, then here with the name also, Caesar Julius, manager, Crystal Lake Company, like this, and the name of company, post, name of company, address, everything is there. So this letter will be posted to this address, so this will be delivered. And then only greeting and dear Mr. Julius, like this. So already manager is said there, and the name also is already stated there. That's why here also dear and name and body of letter, the different paragraphs there you see, and then this closing and signature this way. So formal letter format a bit different. Informal in informal letter we don't add this contact information of the receiver. Only the our address we write there. The receiver's contact information we will write in the envelope. Okay, superscription. Okay, so this is different. Other things, subject matter will be totally different, but the format other will be same. Okay, so here instead of name, there is signature there is. So name and signature both also can be. or only signature also can be if it is already defined one. So this is one of the format of the formal letters. Okay. Similarly, so another format also I have here. It is also I have taken from somewhere from any book I have taken. The formal letter layout, different way it is. It is same photograph I have taken. That's why the language, the words may differ, but what is there exactly same I have written here. I have showed you as example. So look there, your address here also, like 197 Aragakhansi, this way address. Okay, here address is written in two lines, can be written in two lines also, it does not matter. Or this can be written in one line or two lines. And after address there is gap. Look, two spaces gap, and then only date. In previous format and this format it is nearly same. Okay, and date, and again gap, and there like Mr. Vivek Gimire, Managing Director, Cosmic Publication Private Limited, Uttalisada, Kathmandu, this way. The name, title, and the address of the person to whom you are sending the letter. Okay, this is a formal and formal letter. This way it is written. That's why, dear Mr. Gimire is there. Name is already written there. That's why, dear Mr. Gimire. And there between these two, one space. Above two space, here one space. Okay, and then have the body of your letter here. Body paragraphs you have to write there. This is where you tell publication, political or business manager what you want them to know. It is important to be respectful and to state your ideas in a way that is not too emotional. You know, straightforward, not too much emotional. In personal letter, that can be emotional also, but here straightforward. And here, according to the subject matter, the paragraphs will be developed in the body. Two paragraphs, three paragraphs, whatever. As many paragraphs as you develop, one paragraph and then one space gap, another paragraph, one space gap, this way. And when paragraph finished, then again one space gap and sincerely, and then signature, and there below name also is there. In previous one there was only signature, the name also is there, okay, and one space I have to be given. So this way the format for the formal letters. Sometimes you can be asked to write a formal letters also. Sometimes you will be asked to write to the editors also, sometimes other also, or even sometimes you are asked to apply from the given advertisement in a question, in the reading if there is advertisement, and for same advertisement apply, like this you will be asked. In these cases also this formal letter layout helps you. So this one is very important for you. You should take this. Students, are you taking this format?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So while taking this with the space, how many spaces this like all everything you take so that while you draft when you're drafting it will be somewhat guidance for you. Kristen, did you finish taking this format? If you finish taking, just let me know, then I move forward.
Sir, finish, sir.
Okay. So there, let us talk about yes. So here some I have listed some useful phrases and sentences. Following phrases and sentences are used to begin personal letters. While starting personal letters, it will be helpful for you. That's why these are collected here. Like I'm glad to receive your letter. This way also can be started. Thank you for your letter. I was delighted to go through the content of your letter. I'm sorry I could not write to you earlier. I'm really very sorry not to have heard from you for such a long time. If not received any letter and you want to write, there this way also you can write. I'm really very sorry uh, not to have heard from you for such a long time. But I'm glad to learn from your letter which arrived this morning. That so this like starting, the body paragraph starting any which like can be likely. What a joy your letter has brought. It was so nice to hear from you after a long time that I was quite shocked if some uh, bad news or some unfortunate situation. This is merely to inform you if something you are going to. So this like are there. This help you how to start the paragraphs. Okay, first paragraphs. So here there is not in out of this 10 list. You don't find that I'm fine here. I hope you also find that this like did you find? No, so you will not also you also will not. And likely according to the sense, the following phrases are generally used to close the personal letters. Closing. Anxiously waiting for your favorable reply. Okay. Or with kind regards, with love and best wishes, with love to dear mother and yourself. Okay, I shall be very glad to hear from you time to time. Thanking you for many favors for from my university. I'm afraid I shall have to close this later now, as I still have a lot of homework to do. Please write soon. It's like something can be written there. I'm hoping to hear from you soon. Okay? So this like are some ways that you can close, you can end. Okay. Uh, so there are some examples I was giving you. So these things you just take them. Mm, so we have that's most time, however, it became a bit time constraint. Some example is there. Uh, a letter to a pen friend, so inviting him to visit your country. So it is one is prepared there, like Bharatpur 9 with 131st August and the dear Eric, and then the paragraphs are there. So students, we don't have much time. Just I will show you if possible you can screenshot and later on you can write that, but it must be written on your copy also. So this way it is completed. So a bit longer one. This is paragraphs are developed there. Likely there is a letter to the editor. There is a letter to editor is displayed to you.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So this also one example and sending it is. This is not longer one, however. This I did not develop myself. I took from somewhere else. This is, and here is one example of uh, envelope. How the senders and receivers name, address, etc. are designed. This is one of the example for you. Uh, Likely another example there. So it seems like the envelope that we find in the market, that like it is there. This way in a small one, this way it is written. Okay, so this way the things are there, and the last parts I could not explain because of the time constraint. I hope you have uh, either a screenshot or something. So next day will be, if necessary, again we will be discussing about them. And everybody of you listen carefully. You draft one personal letter and one formal letter, two letters, okay, in any topic, addressing to anyone, whomever you like, whatever, at least one formal, one informal. one personal letter, one official letter. You draft, and next day we'll be talking about this. And these letters also, if necessary, we'll again discuss. And this way we'll be doing. Uh,